Hey guys, and welcome back to my next tutorial. I know it's been a while, so let's just get straight back into it. Now, in this episode we're going to be going over this nice wall transition effect that I showcased in my previous video, and it's quite customizable, so you can change the colour here. So say if I wanted a nice red colour, you just go there and it changes here. The UV offset, what that basically does is controls the stretching of the material here. So say if I set this back to, let's say 5, you can see here that it's considerably more stretched here, and it just lets us fix that. It also lets us scale it up or down depending on our needs. So you can see here it's nice and it's a good size for me. So say if I wanted to halve it here, halve it here, and it actually gets bigger because that's how the UV system works, and that's how you can control the texture. You can also control what textures are used here quite easily. I'll show you how to do that. I'll show you the material. The edge width basically controls the edge of the transition here. So that's 100. The intensity, quite self-explanatory, controls the intensity of the lights. Pattern spread might not be as obvious what that does, but if I set it to say 50 or rather 150, you can see that it just shifts this pattern in and out, but you have to keep it in mind with the edge width and try and balance the two out. The power is basically another way of controlling the intensity of the light. So if I set that to say 1, it's a bit brighter. If I set that to, let's say 8, it's a bit dimmer, so I like a good 4. The radius is basically the radius of the circle, not the circle, the sphere that's slowly expanding. So imagine it like that, a slowly expanding sphere, I guess, and what's controlling the expansion is this materials parameter collection. I've got a scalar parameter here which basically controls the percentage of the sphere, and that's how that's done. Got another one down here called offset, and that basically controls where the sphere starts, its origin. So if I say put that, let's just move that. Let's move this one then. You can kind of see that that's moving, and you can control where it starts. So let's have a little look at the material then itself. So I had a bit of trouble with this material because what I was doing was trying to make a material that transitions between fully opaque and fully transparent, or essentially a masked material that goes from fully there to not there at all. I guess that's how you can look at it. I had a bit of help making this material via this blog. I'll leave the link in the description, and I had to do it slightly different because they're transitioning between a opacity values 0 to 1, and I'm going the other way, so some things I had to change here and there. But this basically goes through how to make it quite a similar effect. And anyway, just had to get that out of the way because it was so invaluable to me making this. But you can kind of see what we're going to be doing. This sphere mask here was quite a bit tricky to do, to be honest, before I figured something quite cool out, or quite obvious as well. But yeah, let's make this. So what you want to do is go to your content browser, right click, material, click on tutorial, open it up. Now, the first thing you want to do in this material is go down to where it says blend mode, and you want to set that to masked. This will let you have access to the opacity mask here, which is quite vital for this effect. Second thing that you want to do is go down to your content browser, right click again, and you want to scroll down to where it says materials and textures. You want to make a new material parameter collection. Call it whatever you want. Open it up, and you want a scalar, and I'm going to call mine percentage. You want a vector one as well. Call it offset. Save it. And go back to your material. I'm going to keep this open just for point of reference, because I don't think you guys would blame me for needing to reference this every now and then. Okay, so first thing you want to do is get the offset, mask it between RJ and B, or in this case it's going to be X, Y and Z, because that's how vectors work in materials. So what we want to do is come over here and type in collection parameter, and you should automatically get the collection here. If not, just select it from the drop down and select the offset, mask it, and you want the component mask. Come down here and you can select which directions you want it, and you want to subtract this from world position. If you can't see, you don't type up absolute world position, you won't get any results, just world position, and it will come up automatically. And you want this to go then into a vector length. And let's just double check. Yeah. So second thing you want to do is come down here, parameter. I keep doing it. Collection parameter, percentage, fraction, and what was it? Multiply by the radius. We'll come back and do that, and then what? Subtract the two. What this will basically do, well, what it should do is generate a sphere using these parameters. Come down here, come off the multiply, and type in scalar. For the radius. I like to default mine to 5,000 because it's just a lot easier to work with that way. So if we apply this, we should, when we apply it to a material, we should be able to see that sphere slowly expanding outwards when we add in the percentage. Your computer will likely be going a lot faster than mine. If you want to check it before mine's completed, then what you do is get a plane, expand it out quite large, and apply the material to it, and you should be able to see a sphere slowly expanding. If not, then I don't know what you do. So let's go back out here. So just compiling. What I want to get is a plane. I'm just going to hide everything else. I'm just going to scale this up as well to, let's say, 500. That's quite scaled up. So let's go I want to show the toolbar because for some reason that's hidden. Need to open it, and let's apply the material to it. Now if we go to the parameter collection and start this, you can see there maybe 500 is a bit excessive. There we go. There we go. And you would use this sort of method to line up the offset. So if you go down here, then you can. So red is the X, so that should start moving it in the X direction. G is green, channel is the Y, and so on and so on. So you can kind of see it there. You would use this to line it up with the wall that you want it to affect. So now we've got that for definite working. You can kind of see it there. So if we go back here, now what we want to do is get it to start out that pattern on the outside. To do that, we've got to somehow sort out this jumble of code here. So it's literally just this bit here that we need. So what we want is texture. Texture parameter. Texture object parameter. Let's try that. And text. Actually, no. Hold down T on your keyboard and left click twice, and you should okay, it's not working for me for some reason. Great. Texture sample, there we go, that's what I wanted. So you can convert this to a parameter. Okay, now we've got this. What we want to do is multiply it to get the pattern spread, and we want to subtract it from this. So subtract. Do we do the 1 minus first? Yeah, 1 minus. And just scale it. Actually, there's another way. If you hold down S on your keyboard and left click, you should be able to get. Okay, it's just more working for me, it's not my day. It should work on the other side. Pattern spread. I like to default this to 40. Now, if we view this as the emissive colour instead, you should be able to oh no, option requires texture. Okay, so this is where you would find a texture. I've shown you what it looks like with the hexagonal pattern that I just found somewhere on the internet. But let's try a noise pattern. That should be pretty interesting. So apply it, and let's go back. I'll show you how to sort out the UV offset as well in a bit. You can kind of see why I'm chopping this up into different episodes, sort of. Okay, while that's compiling, we can actually get the UV sorted. So, okay. Vector parameter now. UV offset. And what I want to do is mask out just the red and green, and you want to multiply that. with the texture corner and plug that into UV. And you can, the shaders are still compiling. It will be fine, but you can kind of see how it's been inverted now, because it was, this center bit was black and this was white, and now it's flipped. And the edge is not quite as clean as it was. You can kind of see that there. So let's apply that now, and let's see what we've got. Now we'll be doing this in one fell swoop as well, this material, so don't worry about me chopping this bit into different pieces. Okay, now that's compiling. Let's move on to the other bit of this, which was the actual getting the bits to glow as well, which is this bit of code, this bit of scripting here. So it's a distance, then a divide, then a smooth step, then a power, then a clamp, and then 2 multiply nodes. Okay, I think I've got that. So off this subtract, what we want to do is a distance, and this basically finds the distance between 2 vectors, I believe. So scale parameter, distance. Now I've put mine quite low. Put that in. And this is a, I've forgotten, divide node, and this is the edge width. And I'll put mine to 50. The divide comes the smooth step, and I think I had mine in, yeah, like that. So what you want is a constant, and Control W will duplicate that for you. Now you want the min to be 1 and the max to be 0, so it's kind of flipped it. And this then goes into a power node, and I'm just going to set my constant exponent to 4. This then goes at multiply, and this then goes into the emissive. But if we come back out here, it's still compiling. Great. Okay. That's fine. We want 2 scalar parameters here. I'm just going to leave it like that, duplicate. Actually no, you want a scalar and a vector. Sorry. This is the color. And the parameter is going to be the intensity. Multiply these 2 together before they go into the multiply, and that should be that bit done. Now this needs to be clamped. What that basically does is it stops values below 0 being below 0, it pushes it back up to 0, and values above 1 it forces it to be 1. So if we now go back out, I didn't actually apply that, did I? No, I did not. Okay. And there's only one more step after this, which is the sphere mask itself. So it actually fades out. You know what? I'm going to change that texture to my hexagons. What did I call them? 80 pixel, 800 pixel even. There it is. And no, 800 pixel. There we go. Apply that. Now, let's just check that all of this is working properly before we move on. It's probably going to take ages, so let's actually just move on. I've just realised that should not be that as default, because what that's going to do is multiply everything by 0, and that's just going to be a bad time. So these defaults should definitely be 1 and 1. And I've just realised I've made the exact same mistake with the emissive. Great, this is just going brilliantly. So intensity, I'm going to put that as 10, and the colour, I'm going to give it default value 1, 10. So yeah. Apply that. So while we're waiting for it to actually apply to the mesh, we can move on to the sphere mask, which is the last and final piece of this puzzle. So it isn't actually all that complicated. All you're doing is you're subtracting the percentage of the current percentage, and you're subtracting a certain sliver of it and multiplying it by the same amount. So what you're basically doing is you're producing another sphere mask that's had a constant offset behind the main sphere. You might think that's a bit convoluted, but what I tried before was just multiply this value here by, say, like 0.85, and what I found is that the offset between the two were not constant, they would constantly shift and change. This way was quite a lot better. And I also had something else that was quite interesting, which was this parameter here. For whatever reason, I don't fully understand it myself, but if you divide this by 5,000, then it provides you the correct offset. So yeah, that was an interesting find. I know this does look a bit like spaghetti junction, I am aware. So A is what here? It's the mask. Okay, and B I'm taking is the absolute. Okay, got it. So the sphere mask, the last little bit of this entire thing. Let's do this. So sphere mask. And A is this mask here, B is here. So it's using the exact same starting origin than the main one. The radius, remember, is this fraction here. I don't remember it myself. Subtract this subtracted by this divided by 5,000, and then that subtraction goes into the radius. I haven't missed anything. Oh yeah, multiply by the radius itself. The fraction times the main radius. Okay, I get that now. I get that. That's probably goes into there, and the hardness just left at is what the hardness is the transition between the two. If the higher the value, the harder the border between the two. So this now goes into the opacity mask, I believe. Oh yeah, 1 minus, because by default I think this is the wrong way. If I hold O and do it. No, okay. What the keyboard shortcut for 1 minus, by the way, is if you hold O on your keyboard, then it should go. So this goes into the opacity mask, this goes into base color, and that goes into the emissive, and I think that is it. What you could do with this is you could actually get a lerp and use that as the alpha. So if I mean, there's no point in getting it for B unless you're emitting the opacity mask. Actually, let's plug that in anyway. But let's say let's plug the colour in there so you can kind of see what's going on. You could use the opacity mask combined with the base colour value that we're using here to drive kind of a transition effect, I guess. I haven't tried it myself. You might need a bit more tweaking, but should work. So we've got 36 shaders to compile. I'll just skip ahead to when it's finished then. Okay, so it's finished, and I don't really think it's done what I wanted it to do. So let's forget the idea of lerping between these two. Let's just plug that in there and apply it again. I shouldn't have messed around with that. I think that's mainly because I haven't set the UV offset off correctly. Let's actually make a instance of it and apply that to it instead. Let's set it up like I have with the other one. So yeah, that's right. Distance, edge width, intensity, pattern spread, and radius. That's all right. Offset. Let's have a look here. I've got my offset as what exactly? 5.85. What was it? 1675. 87. That's 78. Right. I think that might be the edge width, hopefully. Edge width 100. Pattern spread, I had it as 100 as well, didn't I? Yep. Yeah, that's getting better. Why is it still ridiculously stretched? And my computer's frozen, yay. Okay, that's not working. Let's try. Try setting that to 250. Okay, that's getting there. That's pretty much that. That's pretty much there. If I go into lit now, that should. There we go. That's not too bad. And you should be able to control it using the parameter collection. Yeah. I think that's a success. So if I put a cube behind it, what should happen is it should become enclosed by it. Let's actually scale it up so it's a bit more visible. 50. No, I can't stop overestimating it. Okay, so let's. Okay, what? Oh, it's overlapping, that's why. Okay, let's just stick that underneath. So you can't see it, and then whoosh. Okay, so you might be wondering yourself why use a parameter collection, and the answer to that is that it can be accessed when you're using the level sequencer as well. So if you wanted to make this into a cutscene or something, then you can do that quite easily. It's very easy to do. It can crash your computer though, so I'm not going to do that here, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm going to call that a wrap, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to the next episode where I'm showing you how to do that scan effect. I might actually quickly show you that again. Yeah, it's this. Right. Yeah, save it on that. The reason I didn't do that one first is because, for one thing, it's post-processed material and it's got a few advanced concepts like how to use custom stencils and edge detection, stuff like that. And I'm just not really prepared to discuss all that because, well, I'm not very good at explaining stuff. So if I got my post-process cube enabled, yeah, it's enabled, great. Okay, so if I go to post-process, scan effect, and if I put to 0, if I open this up, and go to this effect here. So this is what I'm about to show is what I'm going to be going over in the next episode. So this sort of effect here. Which I think is pretty nice. I've also got some nice particle effects here that I could show off in the next episode. If you guys want me to do that as well. Go to my particle system and no, not the particle system, sorry. If I play it, I need to sort out a few things here. It's fine, it's fine. Don't know why, but my player character keeps spawning down here when I don't want it to, but it's fine. If I type a new column, game view, the default for the keyboard shortcut for game view, which just removes all of the editor widgets and stuff, is G. So I've got this nice little particle effect here, which is supposed to be like a load-in effect for, say, a hollow table or something like that, which is what I'm trying to effect here. I've got this load-in event here, which ramps everything up. Still got a few glitches, but pretty nice. And if I was to activate one of these, then these little things here would follow it around, and it would affect this turret here, and I thought it would be pretty nice. But anyway, I'm going to call it a day here, I think. I've just shown it off essentially here. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.